Welcome, everybody, to yet another A Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3 match, Week 7, Co-op Info Share. You are watching the Bomb Squad versus Error 216, the final match for their series this week. I'm Eudaimonistic, joined today by Bigfoot08. Bigfoot, how you doing today?
Oh, good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm really anticipating this match. This should be a very good one for excellent runners, and this should be really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Both of these teams have been through quite a storied season, and this is a really important match for Error 216. While they have already clinched a playoff spot, this is actually an important matchup for whether or not they take the first place or second place seed in their division, the Kakariko division, which will have implications as for whether or not they get a bye week, and also whether or not they have the priority with settings choices. Say their series goes to 4 or 5 games, the power player, the third player on their team, will also have priority in the third match of their series, giving them a distinct advantage to getting to 3 in their playoff series. So this will be exciting to see.
Yeah, at the moment in the Kakariko division, the Pack Trio is ahead with 11 wins and 3 losses. Error 216 could get the same result if they win here. And they have won both races against the Pack Trio, so they would clinch first place then. And it looks like we got started.
Yeah, not a whole lot of items to start with. Bombs in Link's house and a sanctuary heart of some sort, whether it's the kind that fills your health or not, to be seen. We will have 4 hearts thanks to that sanctuary, but we're going to see a divergence of routes from our teams because this is a co-op info share, and they are telling each other on their team where these items are. You'll see also early on some tree pulls looking like tier 1's 20 rupees. The 80 that you get from that, quite a boon on your way into the village.
Yeah, it's always nice to find lots of rupees and bombs early, so that's very nice. A bottle with a red goo is always nice before going to Kakariko.
We'll get to see, looks like Rick and Thalane on similar routes, but it seems like, I thought that Rick was going to try and farm another tree pull. The 80 rupees probably more than enough, though. You're likely to find plenty as long as you have the bombs. You can at least get 30 in the back of Blind's hut. And that's a hook shot in the Thief's hut.
That's nice.
When we talk about... Good.
Go on.
Oh, we talk about movement speed advantages, and the hook shot is one that is definitely a skill ceiling thing. You can, before you get the boots, it can definitely help you pull some advantage over your opponents.
Yeah, definitely. I have seen Area checking Lumberjack, but I have not seen which item was there. That was too fast for me.
Well, we'll probably find that out again later, but Bigfoot, is that a fish?
Yep, that's a fish. So Synack shows good game knowledge, because if you bring the bottle vendor a fish, he rewards you. And that's a nice magic refill, 20 rupees, some arrows, some bombs. That's very nice game knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, the rupee is not a huge stack of them, but the 8 bombs is really cash efficient. You don't have to necessarily worry about any bombs for the rest of your route.
Yeah. The early bottle means we get this check sick kit, which has a shield for us today. Oh, and
Whoa.
there's a glove in the Kakariko well.
Yeah, not only that, but the flute. Getting a little bit bullied here by these thieves in the chicken shack. But the interesting thing here is that because of the bottle vendor knowledge from one of the teammates each, they're going to be able to save some rupees, and this can impact whether or not, rupee routing later, these rupees can be used for something else like Palace of Darkness or Zoro.
Wow, this Kakariko is really stacked. We get a cane of Samaria and a sword as well, and a mirror.
What in the world?
Wow.
Almost won the Dark World, but not quite. We're missing another glove or a hammer or something of the sort. But the odds of having to go through Aghanim to get to the Dark World dramatically dropping.
This is really stacked. Wow. I rarely have seen such a stacked Kakariko.
And ordinarily, you would expect teams to diverge more, but with so many items here in Kakariko, and not a whole lot of options leaving Link's house, in other formats, you might consider going to something like Mini Moldorm Cave with some bombs. We also get but with Randomizer, you're not really sure. Looking like crystals on Desert, Eastern, and a pendant at Hera.
Yeah, but with all the weapons we got, we should be pretty fine for Mini Muldum Cave. With a cane, a sword, a hookshot, there shouldn't be any opponents in there we can't defeat. So we shall see that very soon. Money in the dam, very nice.
Now, the real question is, where does the other teammate in each team go? Of course, they are communicating at all times for this, and you don't really want to go the same route as your teammate. Definitely dodging a spike there. Looks like we got blue mail here in the sunken chest, or the sunken item at least.
Yeah, well, with the hookshot and the flute and the glove, the mountain seems very attractive at the moment.
Yeah,
Lots
they
of
even have a
items
mirror.
to get up. Yeah, lots of items to get up there. So I expect we'll see at least one runner of each team up there very soon.
Well, Mini Moldorm Cave not too threatening. A few of the actual original enemies, the Helmasaur, little Helmasaur buddies, maybe a little more annoying than dangerous in this scenario.
Yeah, but with the hookshot, no problem.
This Lionel, though.
Yeah, that's... And there is a book in Mini Muldum Cave. That's interesting. That opens up Desert. And we can check the tablets.
There are a lot of runners out there who would skip the desert in this scenario just because of the chance of not being able to get the torch or being able to, use the fire in the back. But it's not necessarily a bad idea to try and go for, maybe some early progressive items. I mean, that's a low tier, sphere, possibility. But so far, nobody heading towards there. Synack being the first in a Mini Moldorm Cave. We're seeing the mountain out of Thalane.
Yeah, maybe Area will do that. Well, I think he might rather go to Eastern or do Front of Escape after Ice Rod Cave. I think those are denser item locations. But we'll see.
Absolutely.
Fake Flipper isn't really an option right now because we don't have the Moon Pearl, so the Waterfall Cave isn't checkable right now. So yeah, you'd like to postpone that for some time at least.
Yeah, and if you were to go and do something like a fake flipper, you'd really only be going to Hobo. That's about the only thing you'd really want to do out of that.
Yeah. And in an Randomizer, the enemies on the water are more dangerous than normal, so the possibility of an instant death is higher.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that is that a lot of the enemies, they consider their walls that they bounce off of for pathing to be like the deeper and shallower water, and it's very difficult to predict unless you've seen most of them.
Yeah. One item in Hera is another 300 rupees, so no runner will have money problems today.
I think we're going to see a bootsless Herapod out of Thalane.
Yeah, he's setting it up. Nah. Or not.
Deciding the Gibdo is a little too tough.
Oh? No, he does it. Second try.
Well, as he's setting up his Herapod, and it looks like he might have a good lineup here, Synack actually finding the Titan's Mitts in Sahasrah's closet, so we do have Dark World access sans the Moon Pearl. As soon as we find that, we pretty much have full reign over most of the Dark World, as Thalane does nail the Herapod in the first try.
Yeah, and that mitts make the desert and Maya area checks way more attractive because you have the flute, we have the mitts, we have the mirror. It's much faster to check now. And more checks with the Maya Shed and Checkerbot Cave.
Oh, and good reason to do so. Eriror finding the boots on the desert ledge, which is interesting because, like, that, the book could have led us there, but the Titan's Mitts Titan Mitts mirror and flute combo is way more efficient.
Yeah. I'll expect Thalane to finish the mountain first, but he'll be over there very soon. Oh, well, first he'll get his glove, but then he'll be there. Because boots no one wants to miss.
Doing a bit of a dance with the Moth, in a bit of a perilous situation. Can't really afford to take another hit here. Mothula much less threatening without the spikes. Fighter Sword more a war of attrition than a danger in most scenarios, but will emerge victorious for our first dungeon completion, gathering that pendant, which, as far as we know, is not required yet.
Yeah, and Desert has a shovel on the torch. Good thing we have the boots and can check that, so it's not a mystery.
It's a tough say if you go to check those when you have the, flute, the boots. I mean, the shovel's a pretty quick check if you know the fastest way to get there, but I mean, it does feel like a really awkward one-off check, and it's something that can easily burn you. In a co-op seed, I would definitely do it. I think, on an individual run, it might be a little harder of a sell.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, in a co-op info share, it's kind of interesting to see everybody in different places, except for Rick and Thalane here, who are taking care of their Paradox Cave. Was that a pair of flippers?
Oh, I've not seen that, but
I think we'll see from Rick here.
Yeah, the tracker shows it. It's flippers. That's very nice.
Wow. Holy cow.
Ice
What is
rod.
going on here? Oh, that is an exceptional cave. Unfortunately for Thalane, this Gibdo not a friendly placement and kind of difficult to kill this.
And Rick dying before he can open all the chests in the Paradox Cave. That hurts.
Yeah, depending on how many he got, I didn't see. Did you see which side he died on?
I think he got none of the 5 chests.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got to go finish that then.
Yeah.
I definitely understand the hesitation to use the potion on only 4 hearts, though. I mean, it's a value thing. You don't have a bow yet. Or actually, you don't need it for potion camera unlock since it's Randomizer. But yeah, I mean, you kind of want to have more hearts to get more value out of it. I think, though, if Rick's in the same shoes again, the same bomb shoes, he will probably use this potion on his next try, if he needs to.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, I mean, all things considered, that's a big advantage for Error 216. They have that knowledge quite a bit sooner. That's a good minute or so that they have, that they know about these items here in Paradox Cave, as Eriror is going to make his way up the mountain and probably get somewhere close to Rick, maybe not killing this Gibdo that quickly, but that kind of puts their whole team through this cave faster than Synack will be able to finish Eastern here.
Yeah, but I think the bigger advantage for Error 216 right now is the knowledge about the boots, because the bomb squad has not visited Desert or Maya area yet, and I don't know if they'll do so soon.
Yeah, we're getting a hard commit to Eastern here, and these Gorias are not being friendly to Synack. Thankfully remembering these pots, because that's a much faster way to kill them.
Yeah. I was hoping that this seed... Oh, Rick dying again. Oh, Rick. Well, it's Randomizer.
The hard part about Randomizer, I mean, it's already kind of difficult to deal with the enemy shuffle that you have, but usually in a co-op setting, you're not picking up as many chests as your, solo seed is. Maybe 50 or 60 checks less between the information you share, which is very difficult to deal with. A lot less health to work with in these scenarios. Like Synack right here doing a 5-heart Helmasaur King. Perhaps in his own seed, he might have 6 or 7. Although right now, I think he's pretty much gotten everything he can.
Yeah, while this is a co-op scene, you normally don't share the location of heart containers or so with your partner. You only share the really important items. So most likely, both runners will have less health than normal seed. And as we can see, Rick knows where the blue male is because Synack should have told him, but he didn't get it. So even that.
Well, I will say it's a good heads-up decision to not get too frustrated with the Paradox Cave scenario. He has the opportunity to, move onwards and kind of focus on the next thing. It's interesting that Rick's heading straight to Eastern. I don't believe we found anything that critical in there.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything too important. Maybe the lamp, because Synack has that, but... Well, the lamp can be kinda important in an Randomizer, because dark rooms without the lamp... Well, there can be the Lionel, the Crystal Roller, or something else very bad in there, and that makes them very hard.
Yeah, I would say Darkroom's much scarier in Randomizer. As Error 216 heading to the Hookshot Cave, getting a bow, pulling that one out, and drawing the string even further for their progression chain.
What are we actually missing for Go mode right now? There's not much left.
Yeah, at this point, we don't know if we need a Fire Rod to get another progressive item, but Fire Rod, Hammer, really not a whole lot left. Definitely some kind of medallion.
Yeah, we just saw an area that Turtle Rock is Ether, so we're missing that any case.
Yeah, so actually, did Eriror check the medallion requirement? I think we may have. Yeah, it was Ether. So we definitely need at least Ether. Maybe Meyer requires the same. I would think that Thalane's checking that right now.
Yeah, we'll see that very soon. Oh, there's half magic and a fire shield, which is also nice to have in an Randomizer because it blocks all the fireballs.
Yeah, another one of those items that you just get way more value out of in this format. Ordinarily, you know exactly where all the blockable enemies are. You handle the rooms one certain way. But you look at, like, say, Synack's screen here, and you just got all kinds of curveballs thrown at you that you just kind of have to adapt to in the moment. I will say that that's one of the things about Randomizer co-op info share that's really important, is you kind of do need to let your teammate know a little bit about where the enemy layouts are to prevent them from taking unnecessary deaths.
Well, Rick has gotten his blue mail out of the chest game, so both mail upgrades are found. Yeah, it's still very strange to me that the bomb squad has not been in the mire and desert area. They have a flute and mitts and mirror, so that's lots of checks over there, and well, I guess we have too many items right now. Everything is literally everything is open right now, so yeah, many checks everywhere.
I'd agree on that front, though. That's definitely one of those scenarios where you have so many things that you can do that the concern about not having a medallion for Misery Mire, or one or two items that you prefer to have walking into the dungeon, that can kind of get in your head and prevent the easy, quick checks. Of course, they have no idea that they're missing the boots there, and they don't really require it yet. But Eriror finding even more items here. Thieves Town giving him the Fire Rod, which allows for desert completion, as well as getting into the back of Skull Woods if necessary.
Wow. And we can defeat any Trinex we will encounter now. Because we have full boss shuffle here, so every boss will appear at least once, and 3 of the bosses will appear 2 times.
Yeah, and as of yet, I think we've only seen the Mothula, right? Oh, and the Helmasaur King in Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some more nuances and specifics about which rooms and which super tiles a boss can appear in. There's more to it than that, but besides certain bosses not being able to spawn in certain rooms, they don't really have much insight as to where they're going to find and what they're going to find these bosses that remain. One of the other nuances, though, is that this blinds room is always going to be boss accessible from the beginning, even if it's blind.
Yeah, if it's a vanilla blind, you don't really like it because it messes up the blind script. You can't really use it, so you have to adapt. But a Lammo is pretty easy in this room. Oh, and there are silvers. Wow. Wow. In the beginning, in the beginning, I wanted to say, well, since this is a co-op race, we hopefully should see a time below 2 hours. But right now, with that items, I mean, we are 2 or 3 items from Go mode, not even 20 minutes in. Could we have a sub 1 hour?
You know, I mean, the co-op format is where that could be possible. At this point, unless they really struggle to find a required medallion or, you know, this hammer, it's kind of looking that way. This could be a boss rush very soon.
Yeah, I mean, the hammer is not very unlikely to find it soon because it locks quite some checks. So, wow.
Both Eriror and Rick having a little bit of difficulty with their setups for Lamos in the Thieves Town, and then
There's the hammer! Wow! This seed!
Alrighty then. So Eriror perhaps feeling like he has cheated the odds in some way. For he has simply found all the items. The thing we say sarcastically to runners when they're like, "Hey, I want to be faster," just find all the items, right? Well, Eriror putting it on display, showing both luck and skill today.
Well, Era 216 haven't found the lamp yet, so that's something. Well, they'll go to Eastern soon. But yeah, right now we're just missing Ether and we don't know the Maya medallion yet. That's crazy.
Oh, it seems Chad had noticed that Thalane had already found the hammer earlier, so perhaps Eriror just simply picking it up, knowing where that was at. With all these screens to watch, we sometimes miss all that, so we appreciate both Chad and our trackers today for keeping us on the up and up. Specifically Dark Diplomat and T Sigma.
And since I remember to have seen Thalane in the Maya area, I've just checked his stream. He has marked the Maya as Ether as well. So we might be in Ether from Go mode.
Yeah, beyond that, I mean, the only thing they could really require is just a sword upgrade, and it seems almost inevitable that they find one in their path. Of course, could be one of those really mysterious scenarios where you find all 3 of them in GT, which would probably result in us full clearing this seed. But having all the means to do so, all the fast means to do so, could still lead to an exceptionally fast time for these teams.
Yeah. Alright, we're seeing our Zora checks from Thalane. Synack about to find his... Oh, he doesn't get his bow out of Hookshot Cave? Oh, yeah, he picked up the pot.
On the other side, we also see Eriror having set up a fake powder. I'm going to take advantage of that mushroom to get this check out of the way after having done the dig game. Trying to do all the south route in one go. Going to get another bottle, which is actually a great find for safety purposes. As Synack, as you mentioned, picking up his bow. It's interesting. Three different people on these out of these 4 are doing a south route right now. And 2 of them have followers.
Oh, our first look at Hype Cave, if I remember correctly. A heart container. Piece of heart. Single rupee. Piece of heart. And bombs. So not really hype today.
Well, something I will say to the credit of the bomb squad today, as you mentioned earlier, game knowledge definitely a strength of this team. You saw Synack earlier with the fish. Rick, just a moment ago, taking advantage of his team's namesake, holding a bomb over the bomb to cross over a portal that was in his way to allow him to grab the sunken item. So we're seeing great game knowledge from both teams. Of course, this Invitational League is extremely competitive. Perhaps in a different division, this team would have been a little closer to the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, but I have to say, I'm still criticizing their decision not to send one runner over to the Maya Desert area. They still haven't done that. About close to 25 minutes in, and we got the access to that area about 5 minutes in. So that's questionable, that decision.
Yeah, in terms of the bomb squad, this is really diffusing their chances of taking a lead here. But we will get a fire rod from Synack shortly as Rick exploring the Lake Hylia area, going to get the Hylia item, as we see Eriror taking advantage of that purple chest, and thalane dodging some spikes here in Swamp Palace. And there's our sword.
There's a Master Sword in the purple chest. So now it's really just Ether for go mode.
The thing that stinks about this, though, is that Ether can be in a multitudinous number of places. There's just all over the world that you can find it, anywhere but those 2 dungeons. And that does not necessarily mean it's likely we'll find it soon.
Well, we could still have a pet seed with Ether on pedestal, and on Green Pendant could be... At least we don't have to search Mire and Turtle Rock and GT for Ether, so that's at least nice.
Ooh, and a little bit of salt from Rick, bombing the hobo, the poor man under the bridge, maybe considering the Foundation, trying to tear things apart here. But a smart use of the portal to check this, as you can do that with the blacksmith and try and do the entire loop. Unfortunate to not be able to do that with the boots, though.
Yeah, and Arrow 16 doing Swamp, and I reckon Area might do Ice Palace soon. He's doing a flipper checks first, but should be... I think Ice Palace is a really good choice at this point. You have everything to complete it, even the Canis Maya, so it's reasonably quick.
Well, this is an unfortunate setup for the diver down here for thalane. This anti-fairy is stuck in a place where you just really can't get him out. I don't think I've ever seen that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's giving up and doing this the regular way.
That's a weird Randomizer scenario. You just gotta turn around and be like, all right, not today. Also, these bombs have magnetism, apparently. That's an interesting Hinox kill from Rick. Kind of curious as to maybe he was hoping for the vanilla bomb drops. I do not have an answer as to why he would do that.
Oh yeah, I don't really know. What is he doing over here?
Cash.
Yeah, cash for the Zora check.
You know, those other, tree pole locations, there's quite a few of them that a lot of people don't really think about. That statue in front of the pyramid's a good one, the right paw of the Turtle Rock entrance. There's a statue just below Hype Cave. Again, great game knowledge from the bomb squad, taking advantage of little optimizations that they can do to try to, do, say, Zora in this chain. Getting that with Catfish is definitely going to help them save some of their time back. Probably not as valuable as Boots, but, they don't know where they are yet.
Yeah. Alright, what does... Oh, we have a vanilla Argus and Swamp Palace. So that should be... Well, with a Fighter Sword, it's a slow fight. But we won't see the... I don't think we will see the menu fight with the hammer.
And that's the other side of the quick swap that we've kind of seen more prominently used from this point, is that you could actually do that without menus, but it is not as fun when you have that many items in between. Or actually, I guess you could probably do that in like 2 swaps. You could do it a little faster, but it's a lot more intensive.
Yeah. Alright, the Bomb Squad has found their hammer. I think Rick will go there very soon to get it, because he'll go to Zora and then save and quit to deliver the the Smith. And then he'll be in Kakariko, and it should be quick for him to go there.
So I keep wanting to comment on where we're going to find this ether, but there's just so many places. Ice Palace is good as check as any. We have everything we need to be fast in here. And Eriror does have the Master Sword to make this dungeon a little bit easier to deal with. The potential enemy pool here could be kind of threatening. That Chain Chomp, I would not want to be Eriror trying to dodge that. Looks like he's in a good setup, though.
Yeah, and thalane going back into Swamp for the big chest. I can't remember if he checked left side, but I don't think so.
I believe that's the case. I think he went straight to the back, hoping to dive her down. Despite not being able to, thalane actually... Maybe he did go left.
Well, he got an item off the big chest. If he didn't go left, I assume there's at maximum one item left there. So he decides to skip it if he hasn't been there earlier.
Yeah, I mean, given that they really only need one item as a team to hit go mode, perhaps that is the right choice. It'd be hard for me to critique them. They're at 30 points right now. They're clearly in a dominant position in the division. But usually a lot of people will advise you in a co-op info share setting, never skip left side swamp. You know, your teammate can at least benefit from that information. So it looks like that's a skip that they're willing to make to try and, shave off as much time as possible to guarantee a victory.
Yeah, and it's just 24 hours ago that we've seen a very similar decision to skip one check not paying off, because in a match yesterday, at the same time, one of the teams decided to Hera pot Hera and skip the big chest where the fire rod was in. So it can have very negative consequences if you decide to skip a check in co-op.
So you would say that they got burned by that choice?
Yep, definitely.
Big yikes. Well, we're hoping if you're a fan of Error 216 that doesn't end up being the case. We have a Trinex here at the bottom of Ice Palace, looking for hammer strats here for Eriror. As thalane, I guess, trying to catch up to all the items that Eriror has found. He's going to get his first bow here from actually the Lamolus in this dungeon.
Yeah, and the bomb squad, they're getting to more, well, distant locations, more single locations here, like here Graveyard Ledge, because they don't commit to the Mire Desert check. So they have those one-offs left and not much more. Those boots are really missing.
Yeah, I mean, to their credit, I do understand the desire to check these one-offs. When you think that your team is up against a very difficult opponent, you kind of hope that the other team gets burned by, wow, there's a lot of rollers in Escape. You kind of hope the other team gets burned by something one-off that just absolutely crushes them. The irony here, of course, being that they're the ones who got burned by this boots. And I'm sure that, Synack has seen it, so their team does know now about the boots, but a full 20-something minutes later.
He actually hasn't seen it. He'll see it now. Yeah, he wanted to turn back for a moment, but saw the boots, and I think he said, oh, drat. That's also, not good.
I believe we saw an ether off of that Trinex. Eriror has merged with it, heading into Misery Mire, so that is go mode.
A 32-minute go mode in Randomizer co-op. Wow, that's nice. So I think thalane will head there next, get his go mode, and then they'll be just rushing bosses. I don't think we'll see a sub 1 hour, but sub 110 is definitely possible.
Yeah, if there's anybody who could do it, I would definitely put it to Eriror to be able to do a ridiculously fast completion. Eriror, well known for being one of the fastest NMG runners out there, actually. Somebody who's actually consistently grinded the category for quite a long time. He could do a boss rush in that kind of order. It's just a matter of what the Randomizer provides him. But I would say he's likely the first to finish out of this entire race. If thalane can't push a little further ahead, I think the items is what gives Eriror the advantage there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of strange that Thalane is not abandoning the Smith. He should know where everything he needs is. Yeah, the Error 216, they still don't know about the lamp in Eastern because they haven't been there. The location, it was on the right side of Eastern. I think they might not get that lamp. So, well, depending on big key location, which I don't remember in Eastern. But, well, dark rooms are harder in this mode, but Thalane as well as Area are absolutely capable of doing the dark rooms even in this mode.
Alrighty, hammer pegs here for Rick. Synack finishing up the desert checks now that Synack has the boots and all of that. Eriror in a very precarious position without that lamp. That is the one item that they haven't found on Team Error 216. But whether or not Eriror can handle the Dark Misery Mire, in ordinary circumstances, not a problem. 2 hearts remaining, might have to be a little more careful.
But yeah, but he's done it. He is through them, and this should be Mire done very soon. With the mids, there shouldn't be any boss here he can't really defeat. Oh, there's a second Trinex. That's interesting, especially since the ground hurts, so not every usual strat against Trinex is available.
Yeah, so the knowledge that we're not going to fight another Trinex later on is actually really great for for GT. Does limit the number, I guess, constricts the number of bosses we can face there to a set that are much easier to deal with. So I believe that's our first refight or second fight.
Yeah, I've not seen any other bosses twice till now, I think.
Yeah, even so, quite a few bosses we haven't seen yet, despite the fact that we've seen at least 6, I believe.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah. What haven't we seen? We haven't seen Cold Stare. We haven't seen the Armor's Knights. Muldorm we haven't seen.
Yeah, I think Moldorm is my most anticipated boss fight in Randomizer, mostly just because I want to see how many crazy eyes we get.
Yeah.
So, no Ice Palace dip yet for the Bomb Squad, and that would be kind of their best hope for reducing the number of checks remaining for them, as that will be their go mode as well. I have little doubt that both teams will still end up checking chests along the way, looking for a better sword, maybe a little more health, maybe an extra safety or 2, as powder is actually really valuable in this mode.
Yeah, we might even see a visit or 2 at the Witch Hut to get some potions. Because we have 2 bottles for each player. Oh, no, Synack just has 1, but I think he'll get his second because it was on a boss, I think. So we might see some potions getting picked up. And then there shouldn't be any more problems.
Yeah, and having not gone to Ice Palace yet, I think actually Synack's about to head there now, or... Yeah. So there were only so many places that they could have found Ether, and Synack obviously not able to check Ether, Misery Mire, or Turtle Rock, so having to go to Ice Palace here to split the difference with his teammate Rick. This is going to end up being great for their team.
Yeah, meanwhile, Area using kinda NMG strats for Vitreous. Not silver arrows for the small eyes, but he got him down very quickly.
You know, that might be a case of muscle memory, as that is one of the most practiced NMG fights. Of course, with Master Sword, not as fun, but I do salute him for that. I do quite like the damage boost strats myself. Which I think he actually used Cape instead.
Yeah, he used Cape. So he'll go to Swamp, then Eastern, and then Turtle Rock, and then GT. No, he's doing Eastern first. So he'll probably find his lamp very soon. Not soon enough to spare thalane of the Maya Dark Rooms, because thalane is already in Maya and he won't leave it to get the lamp. But they can avoid the Turtle Rock Dark Room, although that's not really a hard Dark Room.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about, that Dark Room Turtle Rock is most of those enemies are basically sitting on a platform at that point. You may take a little bit of chip damage from it, but, I mean, unless it's a chain chomp, you're pretty much alright.
Oh, and I misspoke. Area won't get the lamp because he would have to go right on this point, and he already found the big key. So no lamp for Team Error 216.
Yeah, I would guess if you've committed to doing a Meyer Dark Room, you're probably alright with doing the rest of the game.
Yeah. Will he check the big chest? He might. It's not too... No. Yeah, he'll do that. That's not too much of a divergence, and if there's a sword there, it's a time saver.
Yeah, so quick check, and then you can get some indoor spin super speed, which is kind of nice. A bit of a party going on back here in the back of Eastern. On the bomb squad side, Rick unfortunately ran out of magic on the way to try and do a diver down, the same one we saw the bomb squad, or I'm sorry, Error 216 struggle with earlier. Having to be careful here, down to just a heart. All right, and we'll emerge safely with that third heart pickup.
Yeah. I think he was maybe hoping for a full heart refill with that piece of heart, but you can't have everything.
Wow, blinking, you missed that room before the Helmasaur came. Looking like a Hammer Helmasaur fight for Eriror, so it should be pretty quick. 17 smacks to destroy that mask. Not going to be able to get the Fireball despawn unless we have bad RNG. And an unfortunate death for Synack here in Ice Palace, who only has 6 hearts to his name. That is considerably less than his teammate and opponents.
Well, yeah, Area has 7, so it's not that much more, but, well, if you compare Synack and Area, I think Area is a little stronger as a player. So that's... well, at least all 4 runners have the red mail by now. That's something.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a huge difference when you're playing Randomizer, as since you don't know what to expect, you can kind of get away with less health, and perhaps that's why Synack has avoided grabbing some of the hearts that Rick has, encountered so far. That seems like a conscious decision to me.
Probably, yeah.
Well, hey, when you know that you have the potential division leader and as your opponent for the last game of the last week, so you gotta do what you gotta do to try and win.
Yeah. Yeah, Arrow 216, they are tearing to those bosses. Blink and them.
We see thalane burn his red potion safety, so I imagine we'll probably see a potion pickup at some point.
Yeah, I don't remember. We picked up a blue potion in one of the bottles, but I don't know if he already used it.
Yeah, I suppose that remains to be seen. We're seeing a bit of a high five cross teams with Rick and Eriror tagging in and out of the dungeon respectively. Rick here heading north. Not sure exactly where, maybe Palace of Darkness? Or considering, actually, he needs the money, so he's going to try and do a tier 1 tree pull, I think.
No, it looks like it might be pod.
Oh, he's using the stun prize of 1 rupee. That makes sense. Because he needs 1 more rupee to get into the dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah, if he would know that Synack will find his ether go mode here in Ice Palace, he'd turn around on the spot and not go into Pendant Pot. And I think as soon as Synack finds that ether, Rick will be out of pot and going to Ice Palace.
Yeah, the only advantage or benefit that Rick can pull from Pendant Pod here is potentially both swords at this point. That would be kind of the only thing that would justify any time spent. But even then, it would take deaths, I think, on Error 216's side, or very game-breaking glitches that force resets to close this gap. Error 216 has been in command since the jump.
Yeah, and with Eriror and Thalane, they are both excellent in execution. So I don't really expect any major mistakes from them.
I will say that if there's anything that's kept these two in the game today, Rick and Synack, it's their game knowledge. They've been able to continue checks and chains by simply knowing a lot about the game. I think if they weren't against the division leaders, or I guess soon to be division champions, they would have a much smoother experience against most other teams, because they've been putting on a great show today. They're just up against some of the best.
Yeah, well, and we don't have to forget, this is Randomizer. There still is potential for some weird enemy locations that can really mess up the Error 16 team. I've once seen a race where in the torch room upstairs in GT, that one that where the normally the fire bar turns, there was a big spike on that spot. And yeah, I've seen the first runner, it was a single player race, go up there not having any magic left to use the cape or the kind of cane of burner, and he had to exit GT, and that allowed the other runner to overtake him.
On top of that, there's also, we haven't seen a whole lot of them in this race, but wall masters, those can absolutely show up at the top of GT. And I've seen at least a few races where people are just getting smoked by those, having to redo the entire climb.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So yeah, I wouldn't count out the bomb squad entirely, but they do have quite a climb ahead of them. I will say, though, it would be best for the bomb squad right now if Rick does pull some sort of sword out of this dungeon. That's going to do the most for them, I think. Well, convenient health refill as we see Eriror heading into the final crystal dungeon of the race. I know you said sub 1 hour wasn't likely, but, if GT's friendly enough, they could get real close to being just a couple minutes over it. I think if they find a tempered sword, it's much more possible. Or at least sub 110, definitely.
Yeah, well, it depends on GT big key placement, I think, and the key placement in Turtle Rock, I think.
Well, Synack here's got to watch himself. Just half a heart to work with, and he's dropping into a Trinex fight. I hope he has another potion at his disposal with the 1 bottle he has, I believe.
Yeah, and it would be very nice for the bomb squad to for him that he finishes this fight, because their go mode is down there. And if he has, yeah, if he has to abandon this, oh, that wouldn't be good.
Alright, I don't know if you're clenching, I'm clenching. But he also doesn't have a lot of magic at his disposal either.
Oh, shoot. That's not good. That's
You might have had a
definitely
nice save
not
there.
good.
Yeah, that's really rough for the bomb squad. I imagine Synack will
Oh.
definitely go pick up the potion.
Oh, and there's a tempered sword for area. Right side, Turtle Rock together with the big key, so thalane will have to go in that room, so he will have a tempered sword as well.
Yeah, that may be the knockout blow for this race. Eriror, definitely a dangerous man when he has that tempered sword in his hand. Definitely the most comfortable equipment setup for him, as it's easily the most practiced.
Yeah. But right now, I think the sub 1 hour is not possible because Eriror already has 49 minutes in. He has to do about, I'd guess, 3 to 4 minutes here in Turtle Rock, and then all of GT. Nah, sub 1 hour is not possible, I think. But sub 110 is almost guaranteed at this moment.
Yeah, and with Eriror's experience with NMG, I mean, it'd be nice if it was like not an Randomizer GT climb, because that would be a good 3 or 4 minutes. I guess probably 4 minutes of a climb, assuming you had the key and you're just only talking about the climb itself. Ganon fight, Silver Tempered is definitely like a 2-minute fight for him, maybe less, probably less actually.
I've
So
seen the tempered silvers fight. I've seen in less than 1 minute.
yeah, I mean, depending on basically Ganon RNG, which of course is the same across all racers in the first fight, but you could get 10 warps. It does happen sometimes. That's got to be the most frustrating thing about the speedrun, to be honest with you, is if you're good at the game, your entire run comes down to the last second, which is in his situation probably the thing he's most comfortable dealing with. He probably gets a lot of runs out of the light world.
Yeah. And I have to say at this point, with Synack leaving Ice Palace, we might have as well Area and thalane both ending the game before the bomb squad will find their go mode.
Yeah, that's a strong possibility just because of how uncomfortable it is to go back into that dungeon when you have other checks available to you. Well, I will say that the bomb squad is staying on brand. Synack pulling what appears to be a beginning of the game Rick behind him, but is actually just a super bomb, as Rick is finishing up this Armos fight here in Palace of Darkness, which is unfortunate, but perhaps maybe another sword? Nope, a heart container.
Yeah, you'll take that, but it's not the things you want. Ah, and there's another sword of the Pyramid Fairy. Maybe Rick will get that too, just to have another sword.
The thing about that too is, in their shoes, I have to imagine they know that even though a sword is great to find there, it's not a thing that really helps them in the head-to-head. So I mean, I can't imagine that's welcome news for either of them, even if they do want that sword.
Yeah, and I don't know if they'll even get to that point where Rick decides to or has to decide to go there or not, because Error 216 will be done very soon. And speaking of that, Eriror has entered his last boss fight, and there is a little game we like to play.
Absolutely. Folks, if you are not familiar with this somehow, well, let us explain. There are 22 item locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower, which could hold the Ganon's Tower big key. We like to play a guessing game here on SpeedGaming, and basically all of the past Randomizer, where you get your entrance into the chat, which number you think it's going to be. This, of course, being based on the first one into the dungeon, Eriror about to head in there now. Not really another contestant in that. But what do you think today, Bigfoot? Do you think we're going to find it in a certain specific location?
Well, I have my usual guess, and that's number 12. I like that, although it doesn't really win often. But I have to remind everyone, quickly get your checks in, because once Area enters GT, we'll stop the race. So just a few seconds remaining.
Yep, final call, get your numbers in, and cutting it off.
All right, what will it be? Hope Room?
Yeah, Eriror starting that way. Eriror going to get a heart container and a shield.
Yeah, no key, so no right side possible. Also here, we've seen it very often in the last week that the runners split their way in GT if they're there at the same time. That's not really a possibility here because no key, small key on the right side. So thalane would have to steal a key from the left side to check the right side once he's in there.
Which, for all things considered, if they were neck and neck with each other, they may actually consider doing that. But in this situation, that's unconscionable. You just have to go left.
Wow, 3 keys in Starfor's room. And a kind of burner, also nice.
And ordinarily, I wouldn't be so excited about the Cane of Burna, particularly with a cape, but an Randomizer, that's more magic efficient, and that may actually be relevant towards the top of the climb.
Yeah, we could still have some ugly boss somewhere.
I know that finding something that requires some magic near the top, like Cold Stare, is definitely something that can give you pause. You got to be very careful with your magic consumption in general.
Yeah. That was check number 8, still no big key.
Well, one other piece of information we did find out thanks to the Bomb Squad is that we have 2 Armos Knights fights already, so that's 2 of our 3 boss repeats. I'm curious as to what we'll have here in the rest of GT, as we've kind of eliminated most of the bosses.
Well, we still haven't seen Muldorm. Could have a vanilla Muldorm 2 upstairs.
And I guess Cold Stare is on the list as well.
Yeah, we have seen one Cold Stare in Desert, but possibility of a double is always there.
And that is kind of what we referred to earlier as a limited subset of the bosses available on the larger super tile, that is the Muldorm 2 arena. Cold Stare, Helmasaur, a couple of the examples what you can find there. Of course, Muldorm, many-eyed Muldorm at that. Occasionally single-eyed.
Alright, thalane also entering GT, while Eriror is getting towards Ice Armors. What boss would be fun on ice? Oh, there we'll never find out because there is a big key, and that should be number 14. Is it 14?
Right then,
13.
left, 9, plus the randomizer room. I believe that's 14. But Tracker perhaps confirmed that. I don't want to put the wrong one in there. Thank you, Dark Diplomat, our Tracker today.
Well, one of our trackers, because we actually have two trackers, Dark Diplomat and Sigma 6.
T Sigma.
Thanks to them. Yeah, T Sigma 6. Yeah, my eyes are not as good as they have been.
Well, you got to adjust to this amazing palette shuffle.
Yeah. Well, thanks to our trackers, the trackers always help the commentators to keep track of everything. So it's always good having good trackers to our support.
Yeah, between 4 screens and 4 racers, trying to keep up with everybody. Also, you know, it's hard for us to necessarily give everybody the same amount of spotlight when we're doing that, but I do want to mention while we have this opportunity, folks, if you haven't checked out all 4 of these runners, they are awesome people. Personally met a couple of them. Definitely check out their individual streams as well. Maybe give them a follow there if you like the show they put on. I think everybody here put on some kind of display of knowledge, skill, or determination that is worthy of that. So we'll throw that command in chat. Give them a look.
Yeah, and also follow my co-com, Eudamonistic. I know he's put up some amazing races as well.
Hey, we're doing good in the Open League.
Yeah, I'm no real reason to follow me because I don't race myself. I'm just talking about it. I have it easy, so to say.
Hey, we'll definitely keep an eye out for you either way. Bigfoot, definitely appreciate you joining me here on the cast. As we head into the final stretch of this race, as Eriror and Thalane both in their GT climbs, we get a Helmasaur King fight here in the Lamolus 2 arena. Eriror actually in a pretty dangerous scenario here. 2 hearts to work with. He does have a fire shield, but is not going to be able to face... Ooh, he did turn to face that.
Oh,
Wow.
that was a very nice turn. But now he still has a blue potion, and that's the right moment to use it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you kind of want to save it for Ganon, but this is a costly place to die. And given how fast this seed has been, of course, they don't know where their opponents are. You don't want to give that possibility up of, that kind of time loss.
Yeah. This is 3 Gyptos in this room. This room is normally really easy with those 3 with ropes, but the 3 Gyptos make it kind of hard. But well, Ether comes to our rescue as well as in this room. Very nice.
I had no idea that Ether just outright kills Gyptos, but it did end up being alliterative with the Wizrobes, so that works out. But that was really smart usage and almost kind of like well, they don't know it, but almost like a taunt to their opponents, because that's the one thing that Bomb Squad hasn't found yet that really matters.
Yeah, and this room I was talking about earlier, no problem. No big spike in the center.
Yeah, Torches 1 can definitely be a really weird scenario, but both the Torch rooms, Torch 1 and 2, definitely not an issue here.
Yeah, so the most difficult parts of the climb should be over.
I will say, though, muscle memory can betray you here. This is kind of the last dangerous room for Eriror. Whether or not he has a Wall Master, he's going to avoid it completely and find a second Cold Stare.
Yeah, no bombos, but half magic, so shouldn't be a real problem with Tempered Sword.
I am a little upset with him for not doing the sword beam strats on that. He didn't need to, but I personally wanted to see it. And actually, there is a reason to do so. You can save your magic for the Ganon fight, although in this scenario, you really don't need it that badly. You have silver arrows.
Well, but no lamp, so we have to use the fire rod.
Yeah, that's true. Hard to realize, after all the things they've done, hard for me to realize at least, that they don't have the lamp. That's a interesting setup and scenario. From what I can gather here, the Bomb Squad at this point, probably feeling a bit distraught about this Ether, probably realizes the writing on the wall, and they're just hoping that they can find the weirdest location for this Ether, and it's not going to turn out to be that way. Synack bombing that or no, he's using the bomb from the enemy. I thought he was trying to bomb that statue out of disgust with the enemy, but they're trying to find the weirdest location for it, hoping that that's the thing that secures them victory here today, and I don't blame them for it. Knowing the opponents they're up against, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think in about 2 minutes at last they'll realize, oh no, we have missed a very obvious location, because area will finish very soon, and then they'll know Ether must be somewhere where we have missed it.
Yeah, in terms of where they're looking at, it's neither here or either there. Really struggling to come across it, and they were that close. I mean, Synack was basically right on top of it. Just a very difficult and unfortunate Trinex setup with just the half a heart to work with back then. As Eriror taking advantage of all of the tech in the book to get a 1+1 Ganon. Good warps. We're on pace for sub 105, which is remarkable in Randomizer.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's co-op info share, which makes the race a little faster, but still, sub 105 is amazing.
Has a setup for 2, maybe even 3. Double-double will put this Ganon out of trouble here. So Eriror going to wrap this up at just over 103. I'm shaking in the boots that they found earlier at how quick this was.
Yeah, definitely. Their area has done it with an official time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 21 seconds.
Get your GGs in chat, folks. That was a blazing fast seed. Thalane hot on his heels, finishing up back at 2, as think we may have, or we were looking at a dark room on Rick's side. I got confused there.
Yeah, that
Or
and
frozen
Thalane
stream.
is Thalane is battling hard to get a sub 105. Could be very close for him.
Yeah, it'll take a really good fight. But I mean, with good silvers.
Well, that animation should take too long for him to really have a chance. But still, about a 105, 106 is still amazing time.
Yeah, I think at this point he's shooting for the sub 105 average between the team. Something to explain too, just for those of you who may be watching later matches today and haven't tuned in this week. With co-op info share, it is an average of your team's finish times. So, you got to take the 2 times divided by 2, and then that's what you got. So there are situations where somebody finishes 5 minutes sooner than anybody else, and their team still loses. And this would not be one of those scenarios, of course, but something to keep in mind for later races. We have actually had a 1 second difference in this week.
All right, Thalane in phase 3 of the Ganon fight. Meanwhile, we get a look from Synack at front of Escape. I think that's the first time we see that.
Yeah, and I don't fault them at all for going that route, just because, when you've exhausted pretty much everything else you got, you don't really want to redo the thing that you were trying to do. But Thalane here, finishing up his Ganon fight with a good setup for the last couple of arrows. Unfortunately, 1 shy, but we'll get another shot at it with his torchlight.
Yeah, and there's Ganon exploding. Just has to get the bridge and not fall before the bridge appears. And there we have it. Thalane is finishing 2nd overall with an official time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 56 seconds.
All right, I'm not great at math, but that puts them at 104 something, or 104 something for their average, which is a commanding victory in any format. I'm really blown away by that. I believe we are joined by Error 216, Eriror and Thalane. GG, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
That was an amazing race, I have to say.
I mean, everything was on the way, and we divided stuff well enough that we never really had to follow each other up in a very awkward way, and yeah, it was pretty lucky, I have to say.
Well, I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, pretty much finding everything in your route. One of those feelings, when you're racing co-op, where one person just literally finds everything. Eriror, did you feel like you were taking off on a jet plane or something? I mean, that had to have felt like wind at your sails.
I mean, it was from Kakariko onwards, really, that we already had so much. And yeah, just thinking. There was never really a moment where I was worried about us running out of stuff to do or finding stuff in a real bad way. It was just really good. I don't know, maybe Flame has something more interesting to say, but it was just I don't think it could have gone much better than this.
Yeah, I think this went as also high. I don't think this could have gone much better than this, honestly. Maybe like a minute or 2 somewhere, but this was pretty much like the perfect co-op run, if that makes sense.
It certainly felt that way. I mean, normally there's a lot of the talking that has to go into play to it, and obviously the two of you communicated very well. I will report, though, that with that astounding race time, we do have a forfeit on the bomb squad, and understandably so. And they're actually joining us in the booth. So we have Rick and Synack here. GG, and congratulations on finishing up the season. This was a very difficult team to face for week 7, and they really put that to the test today. How are you feeling about your race, though? I mean, this is a successful season to get to 15 points. That's a lot of wins on the board.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like, the seed wasn't too bad up until I died to Trinex. I found out. I then after I forfeited, I tuned into the stream and then realized the folly of my ways. I got put in a pretty terrible situation because that room in Ice Palace was just a bit rough to deal with, and without like medallions to really like clean things up, took a lot of damage in there. Ultimately, I was forced to potion, and I just didn't have it for Trinex. If I would have had that potion for Trinex, this may have been at least a slightly closer race.
Well, something we were talking about all race long was exceptional game knowledge all around. We definitely saw a lot of examples of it from the bomb squad in particular, between Rick finding really interesting tier 1 pole locations for tree poles, Synack taking advantage of the fish early on, all sorts of little tiny pieces of game knowledge that allow you to kind of continue chains. What was your approach, the bomb squad, Rick and Synack, to taking on was basically the division champ at this point?
Knew we were going to have a tough fight in front of us, and I know we made a few mistakes. The unfortunate ending of magic, running out of magic for Synack on his palace, and he was under the assumption that he had grabbed all 3 items, which further delayed our return back there. But by then, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion what was going to end up happening here.
Oh, so that was something we didn't have insight on, was the we thought we had full item completion out of that. That's big. Yeah, that would explain a lot why there was a delay to come back. Of course, you did end up finding more swords, which would have made it easier.
Yeah, but with there being the assumption that there was nothing there, it was like, why go back? Why finish the dungeon off unless we were just trying to figure out some time to think, and then we just ran out of time, and by that point in time, things were done. And just again, when you run into tough competitors like thalane and Eriror, you can't afford to be spending time just going around in circles. And I feel like when the items started to dry up, that's what wound up happening. And in the end, these guys proved that they are deserving to be division champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another point we were wondering about during the race, it was about minute 33, I think. You guys went to the Maya and desert area at the first time. That's very late, considering we had very early flute, mitts and mirror and book. So what was your thoughts about that?
It just didn't come up.
I just didn't see a need to go to that area at that time.
Yeah. We had like so much other stuff to do.
What was the reason to head in that direction? Was pretty much going through the mind at that point?
Yeah, it's like we didn't have any medallions yet, so we knew that we need a medallion anyway. So it was kind of like,
And there's also the possibility that boots were required for desert, but unfortunately, little did we know that the boots were right there next to it.
Yeah, that's good points, but still, I think Maya Shed, Checkerboard Cave are very quick checks. So putting that off that long, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just kind of how Randomizer plays out sometimes, and
it didn't burn us. So
yeah,
it
not
wasn't
what killed
us. Yeah, that's my response to that. It didn't kill us.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. And of course, you did end up getting to it eventually. So it's not like you completely missed it. And it was a good race all around. Randomizer is a very difficult format, and you have co-op info share on top of that. Obviously the two of you communicate very well. and despite that, you just had monsters of opponents. Eriror and Thalane, you're basically division champs at this point, I believe. You have the first place locked in. How are you feeling about that right now?
Good. I mean, it's a kind of a shame that we don't have to play next week, but it's pretty nice to not have to play next week. Gives us a week to calm down, look at what our opponents do, and maybe adapt to that a little bit.
And looking at it, I believe Thalane is the Courage Pendant player, and Eriror, you're the Power Pendant player, or am I getting that mixed up with Wisdom?
I have no idea.
You got the red. I'm just trying to remember if it's the Kaz boots or the the random settings one.
I would have to check the website for that.
Wisdom. Okay, so you'll have the second in the in the best of three after the bye week. So that'll be a really interesting series to see. Now, of course, for those of you out there who aren't familiar with league format, it is the last team in each division that faces relegation. The Bomb Squad will be back for season 4, as they are well and above what we got good on that front.
Yeah, we'll have some discussions as we head through the off season here and whatnot. See who's going to be willing to come back for season 4 and who's going to be unavailable, and we'll see what happens. I mean, last season we had Clifford joining Synack and I, and Clifford had some stuff come up, some busy stuff with his SpeedGaming duties that he normally takes care of on our back end. So that's where we brought in Fred, and Fred's been awesome for us, and I think Fred helped carry us to non-relegation status.
Yeah, shout outs to Fred.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah,
Like-
this whole sprite that I was playing today, I know people are used to me playing as the bunny. This was a shout out to us being the bomb squad today.
And I was just being sus.
You're always sus though.
I am always sus.
I mean, you've got to be sus with when you deal with Sahab bot there.
No, that bot, it didn't know anything. It was voting on 7 for no reason.
I think that thing was voting on 10 for no reason.
Guys, I think we have the wrong team branding going on right now.
But yeah, definitely GG's to Eriror and thalane. Congratulations on the division title, and good luck to you guys in the playoffs. I mean, you get to sit back and watch Titans Mitt of 2019 and Pug Trio do battle next week to see who has to face you in the following week. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a good match, and the division finals should be pretty spicy no matter what happens next week. So just want to thank you so much for the race.
I do want to thank the entire crew that helped put together season 3. I know they weren't expecting to do season 3 here in the fall after doing the season 2 back in the spring, but shout outs to Fear Agent and his team of admins for putting together what's been a fantastic season 3 of this league, and we'll see how it goes for season 4.
Yeah, they're really hard workers. Like, I've accessed that admin channel, and there is always stuff going on in there, and they're always dealing with things, whether you see it or not. So big shout outs to them. Without the admins and mods, just wouldn't be a league.
And I'll echo those sentiments from both a volunteer and racer perspective. This has been one of the smoothest operating formats for competitive Link to the Past I've ever seen. And having been on the background side of the tournament scene, I would definitely heavily agree with that. They've dealt with all kinds of challenges, and with as many people playing as we have, just having access to all this information on this website. If you haven't been to it, ALTTPRleague.com, you can see actually all the divisions for both the Invitational League and the Open League in a very nice and presentable format, which they have made recent changes to, which I think everybody's pretty happy about. Or at least I think so. And yeah, just want to echo those sentiments. They've definitely put in a lot of work to make this a very enjoyable experience for everybody involved.
Might need to
Agreed.
talk to T Sigma. You did a bang up job on that website.
Yeah, and shout outs to people like Willard who came up with some good ideas for making the website even better. with the race history and making it organized and things like that.
Yeah, that website is really dope.
Yeah, it actually is pretty good.
I just like that I can hover over names and see everybody on the team by pendant.
And then, like, when we do the main tournament, right? Like, we've got to step up our game here on the main tournament side
A little bit.
and make a kick-ass website. Assuming a kick-king website.
Your fuse is running a little short there, Synack.
Oh man, I need some sleep. I've
Well
been running
deserved.
on Red Bull.
I mean, it was an early race, right? So it makes sense. Yeah. Sorry for the scheduling. It's time zones, man.
Folks, any closing thoughts about this seed so we can get Synack some sleep?
Where's Lamp?
Where's the
All
lamp?
right.
Oh, you
Right
haven't found
side-
lamp?
Right side Eastern Palace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was one of the options, I guess. It was either that or Hyrule Castle, I think.
Because you probably
Oh,
just
don't
go-moded-
worry, we
Did you
found
just go-mode
everything.
Eastern? You just go-moded Eastern, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Makes sense if you go in there after you found the ether.
Yeah, it's like we wanted to delay Eastern until we needed to maybe combo it with Pod as well, but then we found.
Yeah, I think when it came down to it, we needed to be a little more thorough. We had all the tools to beat all the bosses way early in this seed and just didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, it was. Between getting Fire Ice Rod super early and the hook shot, there wasn't a whole lot we couldn't do. That's very true.
Well, that is everybody's races for these teams for the regular season. Of course, we have the bye week for Error 216. I keep wanting to say Eriror 216. You're not the only person on the team.
Calling it
but-
Eriror 216 is an error.
Yeah, you're not wrong, and hopefully it doesn't happen 216 times throughout the rest of the playoffs. It's a cool name, though. I like it. But yeah, so you got a whole week off to prepare for the next one. Between, Kaz Boots and open mode, pretty standard formats. Are you guys going to play anything besides those in the week off?
NMG.
Are we going to see the 125?
I think
Where are you at these days?
Me? I'm at 123.31. So
Good Lord.
hoping to get the 122 next year. So that's kind of the reference in my file name, right?
Hey, if anybody could, I believe in you.
Yeah, hope so.
We also have
Ganon might not.
the door rando tournament from Kyung, I think.
Oh right, I didn't even think of that. I was just gonna spend most of the week doing NMG and playing Path of Exile, but I guess there are some other things we need to be doing as well.
Well, we wish the best of luck to you in your playoff journey. Of course, top of Kakariko division still have to win over Pug Trio or the 2019 Titans 2019 in order to move on to the conference final for the Light World Conference. You do, of course, have the potential opponents Shack Tools Digging Game, WJP DTB, and whoever the third will end up being, as well as Fendrana Drifters, Team Kappa, and their third. Remains to be seen. I would say Fendrana Drifter is the only lossless team, probably hot contenders to potentially face you if you make it all the way to finals. I'm sure everybody else watching and everybody who has been paying attention to this league is eagerly awaiting to see what that'll turn out to be. I definitely put you at one of my favorites, though.
Yeah, hope we can make it that far, and any matches that happen at this point should be great ones. But it has been a great division anyway. There's only been hot matches, and I didn't expect to actually get first when looking at how all the teams lined up. So
we really have to say this season is packed with absolutely great players. I've not really seen any weak players in this Invitational League, and that's that was the intention of this league, I guess. But still, the quality of the races has really amazed me.
And the fact that there's 32 teams, I think, that are all highly competitive just speaks to how much the random scene has improved over the past years, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah. And speaking of that, we'll still have 8 amazing races coming tonight, starting in about 1.5 hours over at SpeedGaming 4 and SpeedGaming 5. And those races will be really nice. Some very nice competitors coming up.
Yeah, and on top of that, we even have the Open League as well. This is, of course, the wrap-up for Week 7, the end of regular season play, so definitely stay tuned to all the SpeedGaming channels, the ALTTPR League channels, if you want to catch the final sign-off for a lot of these teams, and the final chance at greatness for the remaining teams still yet to lock in their divisions. I think that's about all I have to say about it today. Another last-second shout-out and thanks to our 2 trackers today, Dark Diplomat and T Sigma, as well as Bigfoot for joining me here on the mic. It was a pleasure to share this cast with you.
Yeah, I have to return that compliment, Adamonistic. It was very nice. Also, thanks to our 4 runners. Amazing job, everyone. And yeah, that's my 2 cents. And we wish everyone a very nice evening with lots of very exciting races.
Stay tuned. We'll see you again soon. Have a wonderful day.